We are back with round two of the Wixoss Summer Ceremony, third verse, hosted by Carta Magica. We've got Deus Ex Machina X Center versus Card Jockey Lion Center. Now, kind of interesting to see how the Card Jockey deck works, because Lion is another one that did get a new center this set. So we see Card Jockey going first. We have an Enter Charge Lion and... Ooh, that's an interesting start. We've got double servants played to the field. Opening up strong for this one. Especially if the use of Endless Punchline is still a thing. So, going to Deus Ex Machina, growing to X1. So, X1, while in Soul, whenever the Signy this is attached to attacks, you can draw or enter charge one. Romail is played, vanishing one of the servants that is on the field. Looks like Machina Power Smash. Sorry. Wing Slash, not Power Smash. Wing Slash, I'm going to get rid of the other servant and grab a Code Ride. Code Ride... Cargo Code Ride allows you to enter burn your opponent, but then they may enter charge one. So you can get rid of the colors that they need or ways to be able to pay for other colors out off the field. So we had a full-on frontal assault here. Arcwind, Life Burst, Zhaoyun Burst, and looks like a double Zhaoyun Burst, actually. Enter charging a Eternal Influence for Lion, growing into Lion 2. Paying out the map. Haniel played out. Haniel paying out the not Arcwind, sorry. Zhaoyun. Fail to find. So we're not seeing any level 2 or less coming out of the deck for that one. Ooh. Looks like we see Lancelot in the center. This is a different art, so forgive me, but Lancelot played out, vanishing out the Cargo Code Ride, growing into Double Scratch. Or Scratch X2, however you want to call it. Looks like we're giving Double Crush to one of these two Signy here. Going to be giving it to the Lancelot. So seeing as there's no level 1 options for Deus Ex Machina to stop that Lancelot, that's 2 unanswered damage. So we got a 4 damage board here. Lancelot swinging in, Double Crush, hitting a XX and a Servant. Servant has nothing to add from trash, unfortunately. Haniel swinging in. We're going to see a Burst Romail. Romail, nothing happening either. Larig swing, Servant Guard. So even in damage here now, Romail's upping. Open lane for Card Jockey here. Not really having a good time trying to fill the field here. Enter charging off the Romail. Growing into X2. X2, while it is a soul, whenever the Signy is attached to attacks, you can vanish a 12k or less on the opponent's field. Deuce Recovery Milling 2, and then you can salvage a red and a black Signy from it. Also, when it's used for Exceed, you can discard a card to add a red or black Signy from trash. Lancelot getting played here. Vanishing off the other Lancelots on the field. Double Lancelots here. Clearing the entire board. Just need a level 1 to get that tri-field out for the limit conditions. XX. The level 1 of the red and blue dual thing, we just now, or sorry, red and black, we're just now starting to see these. The final color pair we didn't have a pairing for, simply because there didn't exist, honestly, probably because there didn't exist a team that used exclusively those two colors at the time being. So we got full board here with Card Jockey being level 2. They do have access to their defensive options here to try and starve out stuff. So we see Wolf Reverb. Reverb's going to negate 1 damage and can pay an additional 4 to just vanish something off the field. I don't know if that is wise. Simply because you do need your enter. Card Jockey does need their enter for their level 3 turn to be able to further enhance their endless punchline turn. So it looks like we're not paying he's not paying the costs for the additional. So Lancelot's going to null. Next Lancelot swing is going to be a Haniel. That looks like a Haniel. That is a Haniel. So Haniel can fill that last slot where the XX is, as long as we can find a level 2. But we're just going to add a Haniel to hand instead of the field. Interesting. Zhao Yun burst. XX swinging, or X2 swinging in. Do we have the Servant? Servant? No Servant. Churin burst. Interesting play here. Honestly, personally, I probably would have put that Haniel up on the field instead of putting it to hand to prevent that 1 more damage, especially considering Deus Ex Machina's team piece, Trigger a Victory. You're basically playing at 0 life cloth right now. If they go for Trigger Victory, you're at 0. They open 1 lane. If you can't stop any of their open lane swings, it's game. Trigger Victory is going to take away that last life cloth. So, see the original Lion 3 here. I'm going to look at 4, add 2, discard the rest. Tough situation here. Probably would want to have PRJ maps out to be able to force a guard restriction. DXM likes to use their enter to pay for effects that will grant them abilities for like Assassin, Double Crush. We're going to see Crossfade played out. Looks like we're also going to see additional paid for the Life Burst Crush. So we're going to see... Is the Crush or the Vanish happening first is the real question. Because there are going to be some fancy plays if the Crush happens first. But... So we're going to see the Vanish for XX. The Crush is going to hit... a Morax. Morax isn't going to actually do anything simply because there's nothing on the field. Churin to center is going to turn to center, enter charging the golden or the good dig from top of deck. Haniel looking at 3. What do we get off the Haniel this time? Nothing? Again, nothing off the Haniels. Just need one more slot filled here. Once per turn, trash, getting rid of the Churin and the Haniel. Lancelot to center, paying 1, vanishing. Either of the Lancelots is fine, but looks like we're going to see the vanish on the center. PRJ map on both sides, basically saying you have to pay for to guard me. And do we get the Card Jockey Classic? Endless Punchline with a beautiful promo art version. So, Endless Punchline, shuffle the deck, reveal top, whatever the level is, that's how many attacks you get. And you get 3 if you reveal a spell. So, what do we have going on for here? Going to see Deuce Limited. Deuce Limited basically says you can only attack with 1 Signy. That's it. You only get 1 Signy attack. And you can pay 2 to salvage a Signy, which looks like that is what's going to end up happening. We get the pay 2 to salvage. I didn't catch what was salvaged, but means the first Larig, you can only guard 1 of the upcoming Larig attacks off of the PRJ because of the PRJ maps. Which, playing with fire here, if we get a 3, that is potentially lethal. So PRJ is going to swing in here. Life Burst is XX. Nothing happened. So Card Jockey needs to reveal a 3 here to force a lethal situation. Now, keep in mind right now, the opponent has to pay 4, because both of those PRJs will stack. They have to pay 4 to guard any of these attacks that are coming up. So you can only, there's only enough enter to guard 1. So, depending on what happens, we could see no guards here. Pray to see a Servant Burst if there's no guards in hand even. So, we see top 3 getting milled just to try and see if we can not see a 3 off the top. But considering the Haniels have whiffed, I suspect a 3 or a spell. Hey, look! It's a spell. We got 3 attacks going through. Do we have 3 guards? First goes through Servant. Oh, baby. Servant's going to add a Servant to hand. Second attack is a Kintoki. Kintoki does not have a burst now. Servant is going to guard the last one. That's Servant Burst. What a save. Now, unfortunately, isn't going to be any effect. There isn't going to be much enter for Deus Ex Machina this turn, because you need to pay 2 to grow into X3. At most, he'll have 1 enter after paying for the grow costs to play with. So X3 coming out. There's no on play abilities for X3. But can start doing soul, can pay 3, remove a piece, and give 2 reds assassin. We're going to see Trigger of Victory. Trigger of Victory is going to crush a burst, or crush a life cloth, and trigger burst. Exia Burst happens here. So Exia, really good white card, but unfortunately only going to get to draw the card because there are no up Signy on the opponent's field or move, which really doesn't matter in this matchup because of the which honestly really does not matter here because the is just going to get replayed. So we're going to see Kentoki to center, XX on the side. Kentoki is Harmony 1 black Lurig, exceeding 3, giving 2 red Lurig's Assassin. So the last piece does not matter for the last piece does not matter for blanking on it. Deus Ex Machina, and unfortunately this is lethal because well, Assassin gets in there. Assassin just ignores whatever's in front of it, and that ends up being game for X. The Assassin just getting in there. Fabulous match, very back and forth. Unfortunate. I do believe that there could have been something done different off of one of those life bursts, but it is what it is. Games happen, things happen. Continuing on with round 2. Apologies if I've been muted this entire time. For some reason, my microphone decided to mess up here. Got one interesting match here. Both players playing Dream Teams. The same Larigs, but one has Akino Center, the other one has the new Lion. So both here are level 3. Looks like one life cloth left for the Akino player, 3 left for the Lion player. Now, Akino being Dream Team gives up Glory Grow. Lion being Dream Team gives up Endless Punchline. Both of these players, though, have access to a new piece called White Heaven. White Heaven, you just need 2 white Larigs to play, or in play, to be able to put a Signy to trash, and then return one to hand, which just looks like we're just going to get that off of the Anj. We see Huangzong played on the right, Ishikiri Maru in the center, Room Light triggering the Ishikiri Maru. So, Huang is a new one here. As long as this up, it gets 5k, and as long as this is up, everything on the field gets... everything next to it on the field gets 3. You probably want it in the center so it gives more things, but this does put Ishikiri Maru up to 11 right now on defense. It'll be 15. So Fur and Slash burst, targeting Room Light to put back to hand. If the Huangzong swings, we lose the power buffs. But not going to swing. We're going to see Akino go face. Burst happens. It is a Pen Light. Pen Light burst is just going to return the Hong to hand anyway. So we got 2 open lanes. Ishikiri Maru in center. It looks like only the level 2 line exists for Akino, and the level 2 existing for the Lion Center. So only one defensive option left really remains for both players. Does not seem that we've seen any of the pieces yet, unless they've already been played and I don't see them on the screen. Exia and Penlight. Exia on the side means it gets targeted, something on the field can't attack. So it's very great defensively because you target anything on the field and now one of your zones just can't attack. Penlight is a Larig attack tax. So it just gives your Larig, you have to pay 2 to attack. Xenocluster played out for Akino just to get the enter charge in. Disrespect dropping in, telling Penlight it can't attack. Exia Auto is going to trigger, so it doesn't matter in a sense. Flight's going to attack, check top 3 for a spell. We get Miracle Draw to hand, the rest go on the bottom in random order. And Lion attack. So Lion's going to be a new Lion's effect is when this attacks shuffle, then reveal the top. If it's a level 1, add it to hand. If it's a servant, crush one of your opponent's life cloth. So if it's a servant, you get both. Or if it's a card with guard, if it's a card with guard, crush one of your opponent's life cloth. So right now in Diva, if it's a servant, you get both. You get to put the servant to your hand and crush one of your opponent's life cloth. So it looks like Romagad was added. I believe that is Romagad. Can't see the name, but Romagad basically is budget version of Kome. So you can attack with a Larig, pay white, down 3 upped whites to up your Larig that's attacking, and it loses ability. It's the mono white version of Kome. You can still use Kome in the deck, but this is a great way to get around Exia in a sense, because now you have 2 Larig attacks, forcing your opponent to have two servants now, and you don't have to worry about clearing a lane, which is honestly fantastic. But keep in mind, the first one you're going to need to pay 2. You're going to need to pay 2 for the first one to excuse me, you're going to need to pay 2 for the first one for the attack. So Exia's getting return to hand off of the Akino once per game. Looks like Romogod's not going to be able to, or no, sorry. The Penlight's getting returned to hand, unfortunately, off 1 enter. Actually, no, we're not off 1 enter. Never mind. It does not matter that a slot can't attack. So you remove the Penlight. You don't have to worry about the Larig attack. The Larig attack. So we see Exia played. And a Lepus in center. So we have the full 3 white Signy needed, but there's still the level 2 defensive option for Akino that can be played here. Akino being played out, returning the other Exia to hand, and salvaging a servant. So, Romogod's going to swing in. Can't swing in because of the Exia target, that is correct. So, unfortunately, rough. Actually rough here. Akino swing, we know that servant's going to come down. And there is now an open slot. No life cloth for Akino here. So that open slot, unfortunately, I believe will end up being game. Don't think there's anything that can happen to save the Akino player, but playing it out anyways. Miracle Draw exceeded. Checking top 5, adding any 2 because the exceed cost was paid. And that will be game. Really close game. Interesting to see 2 Dream Team decks, both under the same concept, but both with different Signy. Exia definitely is a force to be reckoned with when it comes to white decks, because you just can't easily get rid of stuff, because you clear a lane, all of a sudden the lane that it's now cleared, the thing in front of it just can't attack. Same thing goes for a multitude of other things, really. But there was only roughly, let's say, 9-ish minutes left in the round, and looks like a majority of the games are wrapping up here, so we're going to just take a break. Don't go anywhere, folks. We will be right back with round 3.